What if I told you the most beautiful version of Yosemite Valley in Yosemite National Park is also the absolute worst time to visit it? Waterfalls exploding, meadows glowing neon green, every seasonal creek flowing, granite cliffs looking like they were rendered by a Hollywood visual effects team, and also $700 a night hotel rooms, full parking lots, and traffic jams inside a national park. So today we're asking a very simple question. Can you actually enjoy Yosemite Valley during peak waterfall season and still retain some of your humanity? Being questionably rational people, we decided to attempt Yosemite as a day trip from Los Angeles, because nothing says relaxing nature escape like 12 hours of driving. The plan? Enter midday to avoid the much-reported morning lines, hit the valley's waterfall highlights, leave by 3:30 p.m. Unless we break. Spoiler, we broke. Here's the thing most people don't realize. Yosemite is basically 3 completely different parks depending on the season. Winter, least crowded, most chill, lowest crowds of the year. Cheapest hotel prices, but limited access. No Glacier Point, no Mariposa Grove, no Tuolumne Meadows. And waterfalls? Let's just say they're emotionally flowing, or what a fluid dynamicist would call laminar seeping. Spring? Peak waterfall chaos mode. Snowmelt equals insane waterfalls. Valley is at its most vibrant, but most of the park is still closed. So where does everyone go? The valley. All of them, all at once. Summer and fall is the best balance. The high country opens. Crowds spread out. Waterfalls fade, but sanity returns. So on our spring visit, we rolled into the park at 12:15 p.m. on a Wednesday, and somehow almost no line at the southern entry station. The line was not too bad at the gate, and now we're approaching Wawona, and so we might actually pull this off. I'm feeling pretty good about this thing, despite our late start and the bad traffic at the beginning. This is not bad. We're going to be able to see a lot today before we have to head home. Which immediately made us suspicious, because Yosemite doesn't just give away wins like that, certainly not during peak tourist season. First stop, the not-so-mysteriously named Tunnel View. Yes, it's iconic. Yes, it's incredible. Yes, it's always completely packed. Deservedly so. Ansel Adams made this view an icon. But here's what nobody tells you. There's a second parking area on the south side to your right as you come out of the tunnel. Same view, less chaos, some semblance of dignity. Next, Bridal Veil Fall. Its parking lot completely overrun, but just past it, roadside parking with El Capitan views, waterfalls everywhere, way fewer people. Sometimes the best Yosemite hack is just not following the crowd. A short walk takes you to the closest dry view of the falls. Our cameras appreciated our hydrophobia. And then we hit the wall. Every parking lot, full. Every shuttle, packed. Every plan, collapsing. This is the reality of spring Yosemite. You're not exploring the park. You're negotiating with it. You're groping to find a way the park can squeeze you into its busy, overbooked schedule. We finally found parking at Yosemite Valley Lodge. We stopped to enjoy lunch we had brought in a cooler from home in a meadow next to the scenic Merced River. It's hard to believe that a 7-square-mile valley packed with roughly the population of Pittsburgh could still have such a scenic and isolated spot, just steps away from a hotel. Afterwards, we decided to walk over to the tallest waterfall in North America, Yosemite Falls. During this time of the year, it's nothing short of awe-inspiring turbulence. We followed the crowds to the base of the lower falls. It's powerful, stunning, and teeming with people. It must be seen up close, or as close as we could get without rinsing off our camera gear. Then we continue along the loop trail, realizing we'd made another poor decision in timing. We visited during the week after Easter, which was spring break for about half the schools in the area, which contributed to the crowds and scarcity of lodging. The parking lots are all crowded. This is a Wednesday, but this is the week after Easter, therefore we might have some spring break action going on here.
Yeah, you didn't think about that.
From the more distant falls viewpoint, we get a sense of just how tall the upper falls were, because we can see it in comparison to the already impressive lower falls. In all its spring glory, it explains why these crowds weren't wrong in visiting during this time of year. In comparison, here's what it looks like during our December visit, when the falls rely purely on rainfall rather than snowmelt. We're not trying to moisture shame, it's just not the same thing. Insert your own weak stream Flomax joke here. Completing the waterfall loop, we checked the time. It's about 3:30, and it says it's going to take us 5.5 hours to get home, so we'll get home at 9 o'clock. So that's pretty much all you can see in a day. Now, we've gone over the problems we had. We had some traffic. We left a little later than we probably should have. And we realized that it was spring break for about half the schools. This is the week after Easter. But it is a Wednesday, and you can see a lot. Is it worth it? We think so. But, also I think that I would rather have spent more time here.
Me too.
Just the thought of leaving this magical place hits you with a profound sadness. Fortunately, Kathy saw this coming, and unbeknownst to me, she had reserved the lodge's last room the week before we visited. At over $400 a night, it was no bargain, but it had three of the most important factors in California real estate: location, location, and location. The alternatives: the Ahwahnee, $700 a night, yet sold out for weeks. Curry Village, $175 for a tent cabin resembling an Alabama prison with no heat, no bathroom, but oddly still available. Lodging outside the park, cheaper and still available, but required sitting through entry gate traffic if we wanted to visit anything in the park the next morning. So obviously, we made the financially questionable decision to stay at the lodge. And honestly, best decision of the trip. Because the second the day trippers leave, Yosemite transforms. We had a peaceful riverside walk admiring the deer that came out, until some Turons decided to try to get a selfie with them. A relaxing drink at the Mountain Lounge. Their margarita is outstanding, but their chili requires the added toppings to taste complete. And an actual moment of silence. In Yosemite, which feels like we're cheating for some reason we still can't explain. Dinner at the lodge's mountain room. Relaxed, uncrowded, almost surreal. Kathy had also foreseen the need for reservations there when she reserved the room. Their beast burger is great, specifically when paired with the Faust Cabernet. Next morning, Vernal Falls. We had a quick breakfast at the lodge, then we moved the car and parked at the Curry Village parking area, which wasn't yet full at this time of morning. Rookie mistake. Parking here adds 1.5 miles to our hike. It's this way. We're pretty sure of it.
He's sure of it.
I was going to say.
I'm along for the ride.
The real move? Take one of the free valley shuttles to Happy Isles Nature Center. Shortest route, least regret. The mist trail is steep, paved, incredibly scenic. The payoff? Absolutely ridiculous, especially in April. We hit the last dry viewpoint of Vernal Falls before the spray of the famous mist trail. And it was perfect, because beyond that, you're basically hiking inside a waterfall. Having left our dive cases at home, this was as far as we dared go to avoid being on the market for new camera gear. Here's what the spot looked like when we visited in December. Our more keen-eyed viewers can spot the difference. The Cascades alone were reason enough to visit during this time of year. You get the same zen feeling staring into the rapids as when you're looking into a campfire. There's a word for this in German. Funkensvangswursteln. No need to correct me in the comments below. I promise to never say it again. Here's the real takeaway. On the way down, the crowd doubled, then tripled. Late risers, day trippers, entire tour buses. By 9 a.m., it felt like a theme park queue. We recommend this walk whenever you're in the park, but only if you beat the crowds by starting very early. Unless you're a fan of nose-to-butt hiking, we distinctly are not. Leaving the park, we passed the perpetually jammed tunnel view. It's still breathtaking. At the park's southern entrance, we're blown away by over 100 cars waiting to get in. Some quick math tells us if they process a car every 15 seconds, it'll take nearly a half hour to get through. We're not sure if the other three entrances are any better. That's when it clicked. Timing isn't just important here, it's everything. If you're visiting Yosemite in spring, enter very early, midday, or late afternoon. Stay overnight if you can to enjoy the relaxed evenings in the valley. Use shuttles strategically because they take you places you can't get to with your car. Expect to see less, but enjoy it more. And most importantly, stop trying to do it all, because you can't. Yosemite isn't just a park, it's a moving target. Winter, peaceful, limited, affordable. Spring, spectacular, and slightly insane. Summer and fall, expansive, more balanced, and warmer. And somehow, every version is worth seeing. There's a good reason this was the first place in the nation protected by the federal government. It was signed into protection in 1864 by no other than Abraham Lincoln, 8 years before Ulysses S. Grant established Yellowstone as the first national park. Even at its most crowded, there's nowhere like it. So the real question isn't, when should you visit Yosemite? It's what version of Yosemite do you want to experience? If you want to see what Yosemite looks like with fewer people and more sanity, check out our video on visiting during December. We'll leave a link in the comments below. Because trust us, there's a different way to do this, but it's also a very different version of the park. If you have a favorite season to visit Yosemite, let us know in the comments, because we'd really like to know what people think. If you like these lighthearted first-person videos about exploring, please like this video and subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos. Hit that bell if you want to be alerted to our next video release. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next video.